Hi, and welcome back to Between Breaths. I am Swasti Kalra, and this space is a gentle, small corner of the world where we breathe a little more and a little deeper, feel a little more and a little deeper, and reconnect with the quiet truths within us. Today's episode is about transitions, not the dramatic, all consuming kinds, but the quieter, the slower ones, the ones that happen in the background while the world thinks that you're okay, the ones that we don't give enough space to. There is this slow realization that your external life looks all put together, but inside something is moving, stirring, evolving. And the hard part is that you can't quite name it. You're no longer who you used to be, and you're not yet the one that you're becoming. It's like you're in a hallway in between jobs, in between homes, in between relationships, in between different versions of yourself. And yet, life goes on. Routines remain, conversations continue, expectations stay. We forget to honor this in-between space. One of the strongest transitions I've had was some time back, and I didn't experience it when everything was falling apart. I experienced it when it was all coming together. It was during my last few days on board a cruise ship where I was about to disembark for good. My life as a cruise director, which had defined so much of my identity, was coming to an end. It was coming to a close. I didn't know what to expect post that professionally. I had no fixed paths. But personally, I was about to step into something so beautiful and completely new. I was ready to become someone's whole world and welcome them to become mine. I was getting married, and I was not just becoming a wife, but in the Indian context, I was actually stepping into a complex role of a daughter-in-law. It's layered, it's very deep, it's beautiful, but it is difficult at the same time. Maybe I'll do a full episode on that sometime in the future. On what it's like for women in our generation to navigate, through shifting roles. From independent daughters to wives to caretakers of tradition to reclaimers of personal identity again. Being the youngest child in my family, I have seen a lot of women go through that transition. And it all felt very natural to me that, you were a daughter, now you're a wife, or you were a wife, now you're a mother. But I never really realized that these transitions were the most important phases that shaped them and that shaped their future, not just theirs, futures of people around them. Because as we all might have felt in our lives, women do drive the energies of a household or energies of a relationship. And if we're not in tune with that transitioning period, if we're not in tune with ourselves during that transition, if we don't accept it, if we don't, fully let it sink in, we're going to get lost. We're going to do a lot. And that doing might give us results, but it might also start leaving hollow spaces inside us. But for now, what I want to share is this. The time of transition between ship and shore for me, between titles and the unknowns, that time was silent. But it was so loud inside me. I don't know how to sit with that space yet. I didn't know back then. I'm figuring it out. I have accepted the transition. But back then, I just kept moving. And looking back, I wish that I had honored that gap, that transition a little more. And, breathed through it tenderly. This was not my first transition though. Years ago, I had left behind another chapter and then back again. I rushed through all those changes because change felt like a gap that I needed to fill. And what if it's not a gap? What if it is that sacred space? A pause between two notes of a beautiful song. The inhale before the exhale. So if you're in a space like that right now, I'm sure in between waiting, hearing yourself, maybe not hearing yourself, maybe you can try a couple of these things to make you feel better about the transition. First and foremost, you need to name it. Yes, call it what it is. A transition, a shift, a reorientation. Because this awareness, it's so powerful. Then you need to journal this gap. Yes, it sounds a little, I gotta sit down and write about what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. But trust me, the moment you hold that pen, you let that ink do its job, you will feel lighter, maybe 0.5%, but you will. Write about not where you were or where you want to go. Write about where you are, what you feel now in that moment. Then you got to practice breath work and stillness. Yes, it might sound boring, but it is something that has helped me over the past, I don't know how many years. I can't even count the years, but even 5 minutes of just noticing your own breath can really, really help you. Then, step 4. Don't rush. Trust me when I say this. Do not rush. You do not need to justify your pace to yourself or to anyone around you. This is your transition. This is your gap to fill. This is your gap to breathe in. So let it be yours. Don't skip over it. Don't play hopscotch around it. And then lastly, let yourself grieve what's ending. Yes, we grieve relationships, we grieve people, we grieve loss of a lot. But we forget to grieve parts of ourselves that we're leaving behind. It's not sad grieving. Grief is most of the times, in my opinion, an acceptance. An acceptance to acknowledge that yes, there's something that you held very close to yourself in your heart, and that little something is now moving away and you're on to the next thing. You need to grieve what's ending and celebrate what's becoming. Yeah, these 5 steps seem quite easy to do, but as for everything else, discipline. And if we do not apply discipline for the most important parts of ourselves, then what's the fun of every other discipline in your life? You know what? Let's take a moment together. We're gonna breathe together in this space, and I just don't want you to judge yourself. Don't think whether you're doing it right or wrong, whether you need to stand up, sit down, lie down, does not matter. Just be who you are right now, be where you are right now, and stay with yourself for a minute. I'm going to guide you through a couple of seconds of breath, and I just need you to follow my voice and let me lead you. We'll inhale for 4 seconds, pause for a few, and then exhale. So, If you feel ready, and if you can, if you're not walking or driving, then close your eyes. Take a moment to notice your breath coming in and out of your system. Feel how you're breathing in through your nose or your mouth, and how you're leaving out a warm sort of a breath. And slowly breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold and breathing out, 6, 7, 8, and squeeze all that air out. Squeeze it out and breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold and breathing out, 6, 7, 8, and squeeze one more time and in, 2, 3, 4, and hold and breathing out, 6, 7, 8, and squeeze all the air out. Squeeze it out. And now gently let your breath return to its natural rhythm. You're doing just fine. Just observe your breath for a couple of seconds. Well, you feel that gap? You see that pause between an inhale and an exhale? That is beauty. That is where you reside. You know, transitions are not detours. They're a part of your path. And maybe the most important part of your path. Where we're between relationships, between versions of yourself, and where we're not performing who we are. We're just becoming. So if you're in a space of transition right now, wherever you are in your journey, whether it's between jobs, between moving homes, between one part of life to the other, between finding yourself again, I see you. You don't need to rush into anything. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to become. Not what's next, but what you are right now. And yes, I'll be here along the way if and when you need me. Just remember to breathe. Thank you for staying with me. I will be back soon. For now, this is Swastika signing off, wishing you to breathe very, very gently.